Roe v. Wade is unconstitutional. Why do I say that Roe v. Wade is unconstitutional? Because it gives the woman all the power.
Right.
You know, it's very interesting. Roe v. Wade says it's her body, her baby, her choice. Well, then it should be her wallet, too, if she has all the power.
Absolutely.
But the 14th Amendment of our Constitution has an equal protection clause. And that equal protection clause says that no group is more important or gets more favor than another group.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what really happens. And so we have a Violence Against Women Act that says men are scum, men are predators, and women are helpless little victims. So wifey picks up the phone to call 911 to say, my husband's threatening me. Doesn't matter whether it's true. Husband goes to jail, and then if they find out later she was just making it up, nothing happens to her.
Oh, yeah. The things that a man may have to go through if he has a accusation of rape, being taken to facilities, being stripped down, being photographed, being put to the, being grilled,
Right.
being taken from work, being placed in custody in public arenas, and all these things are tremendously evasive, and it may come down to taking polygraphs. And we got to a point, Mark, when we would have accusations of rape that we would schedule polygraphs for both the victim and the alleged offender. And a lot of times,
alleged victim.
Yeah, the alleged victim and
half of rape accusations are false.
And a lot of times that's where things would fall apart as far as the case against someone, is when the victim would have to actually go and get on a polygraph. Even though their admissibility is one thing, when the thought of going on a truth detector machine would quite often, people would say, I made it up. And I do see some of the things you're talking about in your article about the Duke lacrosse story you talked about, which we have linked at our master website of Superior Conservative Values at www.ibbetsonusa.com. Some of the reasons you gave of why women use these rape allegations.
Sure. One of the big ones is if a girlfriend or wife gets caught by her boyfriend or husband having sex with another man, she uses rape as an excuse. Oh, he was raping me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the biggest reasons that women accuse men falsely of rape, to get out of trouble that they caused.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is something that men going to college don't really grasp when they get there. They don't realize, they go to fraternity parties, they go to dormitory parties, everybody's getting drunk or stoned.
Right.
And some girl comes over and she's hot to trot, man.
Right.
She wants to get laid. So a guy goes to some room and he has sex with her, and he doesn't realize that she's in the driver's seat after that.
Right.
No matter whether it was, and this is the thing I love, Paul. Women say, he got me drunk.
Right.
How can a man get a woman drunk? Is she not responsible for her own alcoholic intake? Adults are supposed to be.
Right.
If she drives under the influence, she can get arrested, which means she is responsible. But for some reason, when she gets into bed, she's not responsible. And in fact, most judges will accuse a man. The man is supposed to be responsible for knowing the sobriety of the woman he's with.
All right.
And if she's not sober enough, that's his responsibility to make that determination. And if he has sex with her anyway, he's in big trouble. That means that women are not women. They're little girls. They're not held accountable for their own behavior. Same goes with pregnancy. Well, he didn't wear a condom. Well, lady, when you spread your legs, you're responsible for what happens. You are the goalie of your uterus. You decide whether the puck gets in, whose puck gets in, and whether it stays in. And by the way, if you don't agree with that, you cannot become a U.S. Supreme Court justice.
I see.
And again, men made these laws.
Right, right.
Now, how many guys listening to me right now think that when you're in a bar and you're standing there talking to some chick, you're obligated to buy her a drink? How many guys think that when you propose marriage, you have to get down on one knee like a schmuck and look up at her like she's a superior being? How many men think that when there's a fight, the man is the one who's supposed to sleep on the couch? You watch 2.5 Men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alan Harper's living with his brother Charlie.
Uh-huh.
Why? My wife threw me out. How can a wife throw her husband out of a house that he owns, that he bought? And on 2.5 Men, Judith, the ex-wife, does not work, yet it's her house, and he has to pay all her bills.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. But a lot of men think, well, that's the manly thing to do, to court and support. Court and support, that's a man's job. Meanwhile, we have a female president of MIT, Harvard, Brown, Princeton, Penn, CEO of Xerox. We have astronauts, judges, lawyers, district attorneys, surgeons, all women.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they're delicate little flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Some men think, well, if I can't provide for her, then I'm not a man. Women have told me, Paul, that, okay, I went out with a guy, and as soon as I went to pay, he said, no, we can't have any of that. I'll not let you pay. And I said, what do you mean let you pay? Since when is he your father or your boss?
Mm-hmm.
You take out your plastic and you pay. And if he can't handle that because he's so insecure, do you really want to be with him anyway?
That's a good question. I think you answered the question.
The guys are doing it to themselves.
Mark, are you ready to answer some caller questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to switch on.
By the way, don't forget to go to the nononsenseman.com where you can find everything about.
Absolutely, and ladies and gentlemen, you can find both of his books, Under the Clitoral Hood and The Man's No-Nonsense Guide to Women, both at nononsenseman.com.
I've also written 86 articles, and you can sign up for my mailing list.
Yeah,
there's a lot of information there.
That icon, folks, to set up for the mailing list is right up on the front of the website once you get in. You can also listen to his iPods that are available where you can hear different accounts and you can listen to those on iTunes as well, right at nononsenseman.com. Let's see if we have that set up. Our first individual is going to be Brett from Kansas, and he's going to have a question for you.
How's it going?
Hi, Brett. How are you?
Doing all right. Okay. I read the Duke lacrosse rape thing you wrote on Ibbetson. Well, he put it on his website. And I was going to ask you, is there any like middle of like being raped, like you say, or like between raped and consensual sex? Like, I don't know. Let's say a woman got raped, like legitly, and another one's just falsely saying it. And
if a woman is legitimately raped, that means a man took her against her will, threw her down, and somehow raped her. I've never been able to understand that because I don't understand how to get an erection during violence. I just don't understand it. But men do that. But you said, is there a difference?
Is there
when a woman is having consensual sex and then she decides later to call it rape, that's total crap. But the thing is that the cops are not going to believe the man; they're going to believe her.
Well, should there be a way to set up to maybe go to a doctor and see if there is?
But there is. There actually is called a rape kit. Mm-hmm. There is a way to tell whether she's actually been raped. Yep. But here's the thing, Brett. Girls who have confessed, I made it up, I lied, are never punished. Never.
And that's true.
Never. So, of course, there is a clinical way to prove that a woman's been raped. Absolutely. But, so let's look at the two extremes. One is there definitely was rape on one extreme. On the other extreme, she totally lied. She just made it up. And then you have something in the middle where during intercourse, she says, I think I want you to pull out. Now, in Maryland, you have, I think it's 8 seconds. Now, I don't usually bring a stopwatch with me during sex. But guess who's the judge? When you have a football game, and you're in the huddle too long and the referee blows the whistle, that's because there's a referee there, a third party with a stopwatch. But during sex, people don't usually invite in a referee. So if the woman says he took longer than the 8 seconds to extract himself, it's her word against his, meaning it's her word. So the key is, know the woman you're going to bed with. I can't stress that enough because the laws do not favor men. The laws do not protect men. If you pick somebody up at a party and you don't know her, you could be making the mistake of your life. And that's why you can't worry about laws. You have to worry about the character of the woman you're with. If she's the kind of woman who whines, blames everything on men, and is not an independent person and who does not take responsibility for herself. And by the way, that comes out in her conversation. If she's like that, here's the question you ask her. If you accidentally get pregnant, are you going to have the baby? You'd be surprised how many women would say, oh, yes, definitely. So that's the kind of woman you want to avoid because, and by the way, you also have to ask her what does she use for birth control. And if she says the condom, that means she doesn't use any birth control because a condom is not birth control for a woman. Mm-hmm. And the condom is not 100% effective. So that's one part of it. But the other part of it is, will she falsely accuse you of rape? Man, that's a crapshoot, and you have to go by her character. And you can only judge that by getting to know her. Pick her up at a party when one of you is inebriated. You will not know that, and it's very dangerous. The laws are on her side, not yours. So I hope that answers.